and we can do the Daedric quests. Now there's 15 Daedric artifacts that we need to get, and some of them are missable, so I do need you to follow my instructions. Okay, so when we're going to start, we're going to Solitude, and you want to go around this area sort of like where the Bard's College is. Now as you're wandering the area, you'll eventually find this NPC here, and you'll know it's the right one because he literally has no eyes. And you just speak with him and give him 1 gold. And this is to actually start the Daedric quest line. After that, he's going to give you the next objective, so you just keep going through all of his dialogue options. And you'll start the quest, The Mind of Madness. Now it makes you go into the Blue Palace, which is just behind you if you're near the Bard's College. And then it wants you to go in the wing here to the right. And when you're in this area, eventually you'll just go naked and you'll be in some sort of like dream state. Now the point of these quests are to get the artifacts. So you'll get your first one right off the bat by speaking to him. And this is the Wabbajack. Now we need to use the Wabbajack to get out of here. So the first trial on the left, you just have to shoot the enemies that are actually sitting across. And after you've done that, it'll go complete, and then you can go over to the next trial. Now once you go to the next trial, you'll see someone sleeping on the stone there, or the bench. And after you blast him, there's going to spawn these NPCs. So just start shooting them all, and then more will spawn. And once you go through all of them, then you can go to your next trial. In the next trial, you just have to keep shooting them to shrink them down to his size. And then eventually you complete the trial. After that, you just speak with the guy again, and you've completed our first Daedric quest. Now we're on to the next one, and this is in Markarth. And you'll find this abandoned house towards the main entrance of the city. And you just want to speak to the Vigilant Tyrannus. Okay, so go through all of his dialogue options to actually get the quest. You may have already spoken to him as well during the main quest. If you did, you can just continue from this quest point. Alright, so once he's giving you the quest, you can go inside the house. As you progress through the quest inside the house, there'll be this altar. And then the altar actually talks to you and wants you to get the priest. You'll go and get the priest and then get him to follow you back to the altar in the house in Markarth. And the reason you need him there is because we are going to kill him and sacrifice him on the altar. So you can just use the Persuade option, and again, if you haven't got that Snake Tongue trophy, you can do a Persuade or Intimidate for this part. Bring him back, and then they will tell you to kill Logrolf with the Daedric artifact that they gave you, which is a mace. Now, he'll keep resurrecting him, and you just have to keep killing him, and then eventually you'll actually get the mace. So that's going to be our second artifact already, and then we can move on to our third quest. Our next one is in Markarth as well. And it's actually towards the Hall of the Dead. You're going to speak with Brother Verilus and start the quest, The Taste of Death. And he'll give you the Hall of Dead key. You can use the Persuade option again for this part, and then go into the Hall of Dead. Now you'll speak with Iola in the Hall of Dead and start the actual Taste of Death quest. And then you'll be speaking to Brother Verilus. Again, you can do Persuade or whatever's easier. And then eventually you'll have to lure Brother Verilus to this gathering, we'll call it that. And then you have to kill him on the altar. And then you actually have to eat him. And this quest was really fucked up. A lot of these are actually really, really fucked up quests. And honestly, while my guy was eating it, all I could think... It's fucking raw! Alright, so then you should get the Ring of Namira. And that's our third artifact already. So now we can head to our next quest, which is in Dawnstar, and it's located in the inn. You're going to speak with Arander, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and he's going to give you the Waking Nightmare quest. Go through all of his dialogue, and then we'll continue on with the quest. A lot of these should be pretty quick, honestly. There's one that's a bit long, but you'll slam through it, guys. I know you will. So you need to follow him to the Nightcaller Temple. Now, once you get there, you can speak to him again. And then shortly after, we'll be going inside the temple itself. Now, when inside the temple, I thought it'd be worth showing some parts that may have been confusing. But when you come to this part here, if you actually go over this pillar on the right side, you'll find a pedestal with a book on it. Go ahead and take that book because you need it for the quest. And then you can see this is sort of the center of the room, just as like a reference point. And he'll follow you throughout the temple as well. So after this, you can kind of use the local map if you need to. It might be a bit confusing, but you can just jump down and go down and start clearing the area of all the enemies. Once you've done that, he's going to have some dialogue options for you, and then you should get the next objective. So once he's following you again, bring him back down and around, and eventually you'll be at this part in the quest with the magical barrier. You need to interact with this stone or soul gem, and that's going to remove the magic barrier, and then now that'll bring him through. Now this is missable if you don't stop him, so when you get to the end here, when the staff is about to be destroyed, you actually want to start attacking him. If he finishes it and he destroys the staff, then you will not get the artifact. So it can be missable, so please make sure you murder him, and then you can grab the staff from the pedestal. And once you grab it, that's our 4th artifact. So we already have 4, and we can move to the next quest. So southeast of Winterhold, up on this mountain, is actually a pillar or a statue. And I show you it there. But this Daedric quest is called the Black Star. So go ahead and speak with the lady at the top by the altar. Now this quest does have 2 different artifacts, but you can only receive 1. Okay, after you're done talking to her, you're going to get the Black Star quest started, and you can just go to the objective with the trapdoor, make your way through the dungeon to the very end, and you can find the artifact by the dead body. Now you can either choose to bring it back to the girl or to whoever the hell that is. We're going to bring it back to the girl we started the quest at, and once you do, you actually enter the star itself. Now once you enter the star, you're going to have to kill the other person that you didn't side with. And since we're OP, we'll just sprint at him and start slashing him. So go through all the dialogue, and then we can go and kill him. Now after you've killed him, you'll go through a bit more dialogue, and then we will grab our 5th artifact. Alright, so after you grab the artifact, we can go to our next quest, which is in Falkreath, and it's in the barracks. And in order to get the quest started, when you're down in the barracks, there is a prisoner here to the left. He's going to come up to the gate when you approach it, and you go through the dialogue options, and he'll give you a ring. Now, there's a trick you can do on this quest to actually get 2 artifacts, and I'll show you how to do that just in case you miss an artifact, then you're not locked out of the trophy. Alright, he's going to tell you to kill the great beast. As you proceed through the quest, you'll find this deer. And then eventually you'll be sent to this grotto. Now inside the grotto, you're going to find Sinding as a werewolf. And just let him know that you've been told to kill him, but you're going to spare his life. What you'll do next is you'll start killing all the hunters in the area. Now after you kill the hunters, he's going to say thank you and all that good stuff because you spared his life. But instead of sparing his life, what I want you to do is betray him. Just kill him. And then you can run outside, and there's the other NPC to speak with. And if you tell him that you failed to bring him down, then he's going to let you keep the ring. So as you can see, I pulled up my inventory, and you can see that we actually still have the ring. But now we can get another artifact. If you go back inside where you killed him in his werewolf form, and you interact with his body, you can skin him, and then the aspect will appear. You can go through the dialogue with him, and then you're going to get the Savior's Hide. Now this is another artifact as well. So you can get 2 artifacts here, which is great. The ring and the hide. After you finish that, we can move on our next quest, which is in Largushbur, which is southeast of Riften, sort of by the lake in the main area. Now when you arrive, you'll remember we grabbed a Daedra heart and some troll fat from earlier after the Thieves Guild. And the reason why is because this quest here requires it. So if you automatically have that in your bags, the next objective will auto-complete, and you'll then have to meet Ymars at the Followstone Cove. Now when you're inside here in this dungeon, if you go down, you'll see a campfire and things like that, and there's some trolls here that you'll need to kill, or giants, whatever you want to call them. And keep going through the stream area until you find some bears, and then to the left you can go to the Giant's Grove. Now, once you're in here, after killing the giants, he's actually going to turn on you. So we're going to end up killing him as well, because what an asshole, honestly. So run out and fast travel back to the camp. After the dialogue, you will place the artifact weapon on this sort of shrine. And you just have to make sure you grab it off of the shrine. If you don't grab it, you can technically miss this artifact. So again, make sure you grab the mace. Now, before we grab our next quest, I want you to go to any alchemist and buy 2 potions of Cure Disease, or as many as you can. At least 2 of them, because we're going to run into vampires, and you're going to want that to cure the vampiric disease. Now, when you arrive at Falkreath, one of the guards will ask if you've seen a dog. This is the start of the quest. He'll ask you to speak to Laud, so go ahead and talk to the blacksmith nearby. Go ahead and speak to him, and again, make sure you have those Cure Disease potions. It's going to get rid of vampirism, which really sucks to have, so whenever you see that you're affected by it, you can just take one of those. You have 3 days in-game to take it before you're turned into a vampire. Now, after you speak to him, it's going to tell you to speak to the dog outside. Now, no pun intended, this quest is absolute dog shit. You have to actually follow him. You can't fast travel to where he's going, and it's like 10 minutes of just walking after this fucking dog. Now, after your long-ass journey with the dog, you'll go through the dungeon that he brings you to. Again, it's filled with vampires, so you need those potions that I mentioned earlier, and then you'll have some dialogue with the statue. Now, it tells you to go get a rueful axe. So you'll follow the quest objective, and as you can see, this is how you can check if you have vampirous effect, and it's in your active effects. So whenever that happens, you can always just drink a Cure Disease potion, and it'll get rid of that. And again, just do that within 3 days of the in-game time, and then you can cure that. We'll need to be a vampire for the DLC, but for now, we don't need that shit. After you do the objective and come back to the statue, you want to tell him to take the axe and the dog. Do not kill Barbas. If you kill Barbas, you will not get the artifact. So make sure you make him take the dog back. If you've done that correctly, you're going to get the Mask of Clavicus Vile, and that's going to be our 9th artifact. So we're already getting close to the end there. We're going to move to our next quest, which is going to be West of Solitude. And the quest is called The Break of Dawn. If you don't have the quest, you can head straight to this pillar here. It's called the Statue of Merida. And again, it's West of Solitude. So make your way there, and you'll tell you're in the right spot once you get there, because you'll see this quest that launches you up in the air. Now, it makes you go through the temple, which is below where you started the quest. Once you get to this part, if you run down the tunnel and make your way up the stairs, you can run all the way around, and I figured this was worth showing because it can get a bit confusing in here. And then eventually you'll find another pedestal. Now when you activate these, it's going to shine the light on the next orb, and that's going to cause the doors to open. Later on you'll get to this room here, and in order to progress, there's this door behind that pillar, and you can just run down that tunnel until you get to this spot. I won't show the full thing. It's pretty self-explanatory once you get to that point, and then eventually you'll open the catacombs. Now once you're in the catacombs, you can actually grab your next artifact. Where the light is beaming at, if you activate the pedestal, you're going to get the Dawnbreaker artifact, and then it'll teleport you outside. Now that's going to be our 10th artifact, and for the next quest we do have to get some items. I'm going to put them on screen just in case you have some now. If not, I'm going to show you how to get them. So the Flawless Ruby is actually south of the Kulskeggr mine, kind of near Skyhaven Temple. You might have a Flawless Ruby like I said, but if you don't, you just jump it down into the water over here, swim all the way down, and you'll see a crashed boat, and inside the boat you'll see a Flawless Ruby. After you get that, you can go to the Understone Keep in Markarth, and we're going to get a silver ingot. So if you go to the blacksmith further down in the keep and then to the right, You'll find his shop over here, and you can speak with him to get a silver ingot. They basically always have these. I don't think that they can't have them, so if you don't happen to see one, do the quick save trick to reload his shop. After that, you can go to any alchemist. For example, Whiterun, there's Arcadia's Cauldron, and we want to get the Death Bell ingredient. If she doesn't have it, you can do the quick save trick as usual until you get the Death Bell. The last item we need is Vampire Dust. Sometimes you can get those from the alchemist. If you're not having luck, you can always go to the college in Winterhold. Go to the left to the Hall of Attainment, and in this room, directly to the right, is Vampire Dust on the table. After that, we'll head northeast of Markarth to the Shrine of Periite, and you'll find Kesh the Clean here. And he needs those ingredients we gathered for the quest itself. So you should have all of those now, and it's going to let you make a potion, basically, that you're going to be sniffing. So go ahead and take that fumes in, and then you'll go through a pretty big dungeon, but you can run past everything like usual. And at the very end of it will be the quest objective. Go ahead and kill him. Once you've done that, you can go back to Periite. And there's a quick way to exit out of the dungeon like usual. Now, once you make it back, go through the quest dialogue, and this will be for our 11th artifact. It's called Spellbreaker, just to make sure you have that before we continue. Next up, we're going to go to Whiterun, and we're going to the Bannered Mare building, which is in the back of Whiterun. And once you're inside, you'll see Sam, and you want to basically challenge him to a drinking contest for this quest. Now, he's a bit of a lightweight, so you get carried away, and then you drink until you black out. And then eventually you'll be at this part of the quest. And then you have to find the staff. Now, keep going through the dialogue, and then you can go over to the quest marker over here in this corner. And as you can see, it just goes to the next objective. Later on, you go through this tunnel, and you find a portal, and you'll be at a dinner party. This is where you get your next artifact. So we're at our 12th artifact, which is the Sanguine Rose. And then after that, you can go right back to the Bannered Mare in Whiterun. Now you just want to ask her if she's heard any rumors lately. And eventually you should get a quest that tells you to ask about some strange children. So keep saying that until you get that quest, and you can track it in the miscellaneous quest log. Now, the quest is called the Whispering Door. Once you get inside of this area in Dragonreach, if you go to the left and then down in the cellar, you'll see the quarters there, but if you go to the right, you can actually find the Whispering Door. Now, you need a key for it, so to get it, you go to the Jarl. You can quick save before in case you fail the pickpocket. We have a 90% chance, so we easily do it because we're boss. And then once you get through the door, you already get your 13th artifact. It's just that easy, guys. Alright guys, so we only have 2 more left. If you go northwest of Winterhold, where Septimus Cygnus's outpost is, now you'll speak with him once you're here, and this quest is called Discerning the Mundane. You'll see the Wretched Abyss, and you'll go through their dialogue options. And now we have to try to get this cube to absorb different types of blood. So south of Morthal is Ranaveg's Fast. And as you make your way through the dungeon, right off the bat you're going to find a Word of Power. So you can quickly grab that and then continue through the dungeon. There's a tunnel actually right at the start as well. You'll eventually get to this point where you find a lever, and then you can go through the doorway, make a right, and then as you go down here, there's actually this spot over to the right with a warlock. If you run up and kill him, we can get 3 of the 5 blood that we need. You can grab the key off of him as well if you don't need any more lockpicks. Open the gate, and you can grab the Wood Elf. So just interact with him and then hit Harvest Blood. And that is 1 out of the 5 that we need. There should be the assistant here that you can harvest blood from as well, which is a Dark Elf. And then if you use the key to go inside this gate, you'll find an orc in the water. And if you press X on him, you can harvest the orc blood as well. So we got 3 out of 5 that easily. After that, you can find the exit here to the right. and then you can make your way back out to the main world and then fast travel to our next spot that we need to go to. After that, we're going to go to Shimmer Mist Cave, which is northeast of Dragon's Reach. As you go through here, there's going to be a giant spider, and you'll keep going through the tunnel and then make a left. You'll see him coming out of this tunnel here. It's a Falmer, and we actually need Falmer blood. So if he would stop sliding down the damn hill, you can then harvest the blood, and that's our 4 out of 5. And for the 5th one, it's actually just a bit more east from Shimmer Mist Cave. It's in Felglow Keep. So fast travel there if you have it unlocked. And outside you should be able to find the last one that you need, which is a High Elf. If not, you can go inside and look for them as well. Make your way back, and Septimus actually just gets Thanos'd. And then you can grab the book off of the pedestal. Now this book is actually considered an artifact, and when you read it, you can also gain some free levels. When you use it as well, it doesn't erase it from being an artifact. So that's 14 out of 15. And again, read it and you can choose which levels you'd like. And for example, I chose magic, and then all of my magic skills just started leveling up. Now if you've been following the guide, this should be your last one. And this one's located in Dawnstar. You'll head over to this building here. Now speak with Silas. He's going to give you a quest called Pieces of the Past. This will be for our final Daedric artifact. And then what you want to do here is you can persuade this guy to give you the key, and then you can proceed through the quest until you get to the objective of going to this dungeon. You'll find this door here called Dead Crone Rock, and then eventually you'll find that spiral wooden staircase. Make your way to the top and then go through this door. It can get a bit confusing. The waypoint is a bit stupid at this area, so just pay attention to what I showed you there. You'll eventually find this part on top of the tower, and then you'll find a witch up here with a word of power in the background on the wall as well. So go ahead and kill the witch. Make sure you loot her body as well for the quest item. And then before you leave, grab the word of power off of the wall. So we're basically grabbing pieces of the artifact so that way we can forge it together. After you've grabbed that, we'll head to our next area. You can just fast travel. Now once you're here and you kill him to get the key, you can then go from his room back out this door, and you'll find a lock for a gate. You can use the key he gave you to open up the vault. So head down into the vault itself. And once you're in here, just keep going all the way down. There'll be like some traps and things like that, but you can just ignore them. You activate the lever on both sides to open the gate. And then we can grab the other piece of the razor. You'll head back to Silas, and then you'll be headed to an altar to meet him there. And before he runs away, you want to make sure you kill him so you can get the artifact. Okay, so go ahead and kill him really quick. And then after you do that, it's going to tell you to speak with Dagon again. And you'll head back to the altar and speak to him, and then activate the artifact to put it together. And once you do that, that'll be your trophy. 15 out of 15. Now I will still show the final artifact in case you do need it, but if you don't, you can use the timestamp below to skip it. If you need this one, just go to Whiterun and head to the Drunken Huntsman. Now once you're inside, you're going to hire Janassa as a mercenary to follow you around, and that's because this quest requires you to have a follower. So I go ahead and hire her, and then I just make sure that she follows you outside just because the game can be a bit dodgy. Now I'm going to show you where to head to on the map in case you don't have the Boetha's Calling quest. You can quick save as well here in case you mess anything up. But basically we're going southeast of Windhelm. On this mountain you'll find a shrine. So as you can see, this, I'm not pronouncing that by the way, Jesus. So yeah, southeast of Windhelm, and as you progress through the quest, you actually have to sacrifice your follower. After you sacrifice your follower, she wants you to prove you're worthy, so go ahead and kill the remaining. This is also maybe a subtle message. I'm not really sure what's trying to be said here. But yeah, you should go for it. It's much appreciated. After you've done that, you'll end up at this camp as you progress through this quest. You'll have to go inside as well. Just make sure you kill everyone. They all have an arrow on the compass. And once you kill the final person, you will find the ebony mail in your inventory, and it wants you to find and equip it. And that's actually our 16th artifact. So again, that's one you can use in case you missed one.